y'all keep asking for it, so here is a thumbnail tutorial on how I make thumbnails. Although I totally do not recommend my method, you can do you. Okay, so we're gonna start off. Make sure you have these mods, by the way. These, nothing less. Name your world, whatever, it doesn't matter. Creative, peaceful, allow commands on, world, quickly super flat or normal, just generate structures off. I have it as super flat and custom because I am making a thumbnail for vanity. Anyways, now that you are in the world, I'm gonna start off by just really quickly making a background for the thumbnail because this is like a real thumbnail I have to make. Alright, now that I got the background, I'll be posing the players how I do it. So basically, you come in here, page 2, NPC Studio mod, and then all you need is the wand. So one player is gonna be right here. You're gonna be crouching. Yeah, crouching, not living. They will be facing pretty much the other way, like this. What I like to do, game mode, survival. I think my F will be 30, and then I make my speed as like low as possible, so you could still move but very slowly. And I like to get in a good spot, so I'd say something like this is probably good. And then you click the keybind on screen. I don't know what it is because I have it set as like whatever that. It should copy your coordinates. So now you can move wherever you do creative, change your FOV, whatever. And if you gotta go back there, you're just gonna paste it in. And you'll get teleported. Okay, so that's basically it. Let me really quickly game mode, spectator, go into that. I'm gonna pose this guy. Basically, you're just gonna scroll down. You can do head look, so he will just the head will look at you. And yeah, let me give him a skin really quickly. Yeah, so that's the skin. Now, the thumbnail will be in nighttime, so I'm just gonna make it night. I'm gonna put player here, who will be facing this way. Maybe more this way. Make the head look this way. There we go. He's gonna be invisible. I get armor. Okay. It's gonna be enchanted, and the material is gonna be quartz, and it's gonna be, I think it's that, yeah. There's the player. He is going to, so if you scroll down, this is just so that you don't have particles in modifiers. You can turn the opacity down so he is now invisible. Another thing I like to do is in world, in glint, you can freeze the animation and then freeze it at certain points. I just like that. So I just want the sword because I don't feel like doing the sword. You can turn on light rotation for the world, and then with light rotation, basically what that does, in lighting and light rotation, you can freeze it, so you could change where the light comes from. This just purely makes it easier for later, so that you don't have to like do shadows and dark spots with the player. Although you're still gonna have to, it's fine. I just wanted to get the fun part of him lighter. So that works, whatever. That's basically it here. I'm gonna have the head actually look more this way. Control Z. What am I doing? / game mode, spectator. Go like this. Another thing I learned, I think, in spectator you can still edit the NPCs. So I'm actually able to move him over, which is very nice. I'd say make the head look more that way. And I like that. So this would be the raw composition. Alrighty, there is the raw thumbnail. So now you're gonna click this keybind on screen. And then with these, you're gonna click fabric shot and WEM. And then you're gonna click run. And then, I don't know if it took a raw screenshot, so I'm gonna do it again without WEM. And just run that, just in case, because I don't really know. That is pretty much it. So those are your screenshots. Now it is time for editing. Alrighty, now that you're in Photopea or Photoshop, whatever, they're pretty much the same thing. I use Photopea because I am broke. You're gonna open up Run, and then OK, then .minecraft, and then screenshots. That is mine. And from this, you're gonna select the black and white screenshot of them. You're gonna select the screenshot with just everything, and then just the background. You're gonna take all these and you're gonna just drag them in here, or you can Control-C, Control-V, copy paste them. Once they are all in, first thing you can do is remove this white, move the black to the top, this underneath, and background to the bottom. So it goes like this. These are the layer orders. So here's the basic controls. If you hold Control and click plus, that's how you zoom in, and then minus is zoom out. Scroll goes up and down. If you have Control and scroll, you go left and right. And then these are where all your tools are going to be. So if I ever say click, I don't know, get your magic wand, you're going to click over here. But that does not matter. Now, what you do is on this, you're going to click your magic wand right over here, and you're going to select this white player. Yeah, and then you're going to select the layer below, and you're going to right click and layer via copy. Now, you go back to the black and white layer, and then you're going to click the other white player, go to the layer of just the two players in the background, right click, layer via copy. Now you're going to get rid of the black and white layer, and you're going to get rid of this layer here. Now your players are separated from the background. Now we're going to get into the editing part. So the first thing I do is edit the background. So for a thumbnail such as this, which the inspo will be, I'll put on screen. What I notice is there's sort of like a grainy effect to it. So I'm going to start off by adding that, which I think is in filter. Noise, add noise. Yeah, and I'll just turn it down a bit. It's more so like that, which that's how the other thumbnail is. And it's much more blue. So I'm gonna right click the layer and click reactor size. And then I'm gonna go image, yeah, adjustments, color balance. Okay, yeah, color balance. And you're gonna just turn the blue up more. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, on this layer, you're gonna get your lasso. Right click and make sure it's on polygonal lasso. So, the one with like the sharp edges. And now, I personally zoom in. I click the top. Right now, I'm taking out the log. So, if you want to do the same, well, you should. You know, this is... So basically what I'm doing is selecting just the log. I right click, layer via copy. So now if I now the log is a separate layer. So we'll start by shading this. You're gonna right click, blending options, inner glow. And then you're gonna make sure, because typically you could like hit the check mark, and then you'll be doing stuff over here, but you don't want to do that. Instead of hitting just the check mark, you want to hit like where the name is, so with the entire bar, and then you get all the settings for it. So you're going to make it overlay. Make the opacity like 100. Turn the size up until it looks pretty good. And for a thumbnail like this, it's going to be much more of a bluer highlight. Typically for my normal thumbnails, it's more of an orange, but this one is much more, much more bluer one. Now that you have that, I might turn this on. Okay, there we go. You're gonna click OK. But you see, notice how the inner glow is on the entire log, when really you only want it coming from the one side. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna like make a straight line down here, like so that, and then select where like there shouldn't be an inner glow. You're gonna right click, layer via copy, and then on this side over here where all your layers are, On the new layer, you're going to click the arrow, and you're going to just turn off the effects. What that does is get rid of the inner glow over here, but you will notice that there's like kind of like a sharp, line between where the inner glow is and where the inner glow isn't. So you're going to now get your eraser tool. You're going to turn the size up just a bit, maybe like 100. Turn the hardest snap down, and then you're just going to like erase it to make it less. And it'll like fade out, kind of. Maybe make your size slightly bigger. Just because, and yeah, you notice how it like makes it fade out like that. And that is pretty much the log done, because the player's still going to be like right here. So you don't see much, but it does do some shading. Okay. That's the shading for the log. Now the background, this part's going to be fun, because I'm not the best at backgrounds. I recommend this video on the screen for backgrounds. It's probably a much better tutorial than this. I don't even know why you're still watching this one, actually. Alright, so now for the background, one thing I also noticed, you select it, the very bottom layer of the entire background. It's very desaturated, so I'm just gonna image at the top, adjustments, hue and saturation. You know, I'm just gonna turn the saturation down a bit. Okay. Now, there's a very, like, blue to it. So, I'm gonna select the very bottom layer with the entire background. I'm gonna click create a new layer, which is right down here. It's this one. And I'm just gonna get a brush, turn the size up, like, a lot, and make the hardness 0. So, turn it up, like, to 1,000 of the size, and turn the opacity down to like 30, and I'm gonna get like a bluish white kind of color like this. I'm just gonna click, although that's much more white, and what I'm looking for is a much deeper blue. This is the, also to undo, so basically I had this, I hit Control Z, that's pretty common knowledge, but yeah, so that's just how you undo. I'll try this one more time. Okay, so the player's gonna be behind there, I think. Yeah. And I'm gonna make the size smaller, do it again, just like that. Okay, that works. Let's see. So there's kind of a fog like, behind the trees, where it's kind of just like completely faded out. So I am going to select the trees that are behind, and this is real. I hate leaves because it is really hard to see where they start and stop with the air gaps and when there's other leaves near them. And layer via copy. Now these leaves are much closer, so you could get rid of this and you still see them. So the ones behind, I'm just gonna image adjustments, blur, and we'll do a Gaussian blur. Oh no, we're gonna turn it to be not so intense. Well, it's still gonna be pretty intense to like, you know, get that like, oh, it's background, but like that. I like that. So that just adds like a little bit of depth, makes it feel farther away. I still notice that their snow is extremely white. So I'm going to select the snow using the magic wand. And I'm going to use the polygon tool as well. And just select all the missed pixels. Okay, now I'm gonna go layer via copy, and I'm gonna go blending options, color overlay. So what I've done is in color overlay, made it This is giving it a much more blue color. So this is with it, and this is without it. It just, you know, I don't know, fits whatever they had before much better. And now, but I'm gonna go with black with the lower opacity. Turn the size up, and just I made a new layer that is right above the bottom layer, and I'm just gonna brush the background. Maybe turn the opacity up a bit and make it a dark blue instead, and just brush. Well, not that, because that looks horrible, because the opacity is too big. But it's really just mess around and see what looks best. I wouldn't do a thumbnail the exact same way every single time, because that just kind of removes the creativity. But it is completely up to you how you do thumbnails. I'm not here to tell you what's right and wrong. But I think that looks pretty good. This is without it, and this is with it, so it kind of just adds some depth. This is what it looks like with the player, but the player is unshaded, which is the next problem. Also, if you notice, the player is kind of small, low-key. So sometimes you're able to make them larger and closer, but I don't entirely recommend that every time because it could make it blur. We're gonna start shading our player, and we're gonna start with the one that's farther away. So we're gonna go image adjustments and hue and saturation. We're going to turn the saturation up quite a bit. Saturation is kind of important. And then image adjustments, brightness and contrast. You just turn the brightness up because you kind of want bright players so that they stand out and you can actually see them in the thumbnail. So now I'll be zooming in, and what you want to do for this. Here is the thing about making armor look enchanted. In this case, I will be able to do it completely raw because the player is invisible. But in most cases, if you don't have an invisible player, you're gonna have to select only the armor, so that you're not making the player purple. Alright, so what you're going to do, you're going to click the player, and then you're going to go to Image, Adjustments, Color Balance, okay? And you're going to make, I don't know, I like this. You can mess around with it until the way you think looks best. Now, what I like to do is separate the shadows from the shadowed parts from the highlighted parts. So I will be going to polygonal lasso. I typically zoom in because I'm a bum and I want to get it perfect. And just select all the parts that are dark. Also, when doing this, make sure you know where your light's coming from. So if my light's coming from this way, don't ever have shadows on this side and highlights on this side. It just doesn't work. But I'm going to quickly select everywhere that there will be a shadow, except for the sword, because I don't feel like selecting the sword. And I'm making this thumbnail really quickly, so, I mean, if you've got time, you can take your time with this. If you don't got time, then that sucks. Now that I've, like, pretty much the only two spots that will have shadows I can see, I'm going to go right-click, layer via copy. I'm going to go to blending options and color overlay. Except we're not going to go with this. We're going to click this and we're going to go soft light. And then in here, I typically go with like a dark bluish purple. Like this color. And this is with the opacity 100. And that like really, you can really see the shadows. I like it. I like it when you can like really differentiate the shadows. So I'm fine with 50. So this is with it and this is without. You can like tell, you can see a big difference. Now I will be doing highlights. And for the first part is you're gonna go to your original layer of the player. You're gonna right click, blending options, and you're gonna click not inner shadow, inner glow. And inner glows on players are much different. Well, not very much different from the inner glows on the outside, like over here. But typically the opacity is 100. Keep it on overlay. In this thumbnail it'll be blue, but typically I'd go with like a orange. But you see how it doesn't fit, so we're gonna go with more of a blue. And you're gonna make the size like size large but not too big. And okay, now there's light coming from here, so highlights on this side of the face doesn't look too good, and on this shoulder here. So what you gotta do is just select. Typically what I do is to get rid of this side, I also select part of the top, so like that, and then you just select it, right? And you're gonna right click, layer via copy, and then just hide the effects. But you're gonna stay on that layer because you're gonna go back to your eraser tool. And you know how I was talking about like the really sharp cut there? Yeah, we're gonna get rid of that by making it fade out. And that's pretty much it for like inner glows. But those are not the entire highlights because there's much more to highlight. So now you're gonna get your brush. You're gonna get down to size, typically like 2 or 3. I go with like, it depends on the thumbnail. If you want bigger, you go with 2. If you want smaller, you go with 3. What happened to my... And you're gonna make your opacity 100. And you're gonna make the color white. So now, with these settings, you're going to create a new layer above every layer on that has to do with your player. And you're going to just select the very top of their head. You're gonna hold shift and select the other part. That's how you get a line. And then you're gonna hold shift, and typically it goes back there. And I'll make it go down because the highlights are coming from this direction. So yeah. Now you're gonna get your eraser tool and you're gonna erase just like that. So it kind of makes it fade out. Also, now you're gonna do it on this side as well, and there's highlights on your player. That's just the head though, don't worry. We still got like the shoulder and the legs here. So on the same layer as the other highlights, you're gonna do it to the next part. So I'm gonna do the shoulder here. Just click, hold shift, click again, and then keep holding shift and click again. But for this part, when erasing this, it will probably erase this. So what I do is I just select it. Okay, just the area with only this in it. I go to my eraser, you know, I just erase it. And you can erase outside of the lasso, so it's kind of like, instead of erase like that. You see what I mean? And you do it down here as well. Go back and forth. Click Control D to deselect, and there's highlights on your arm. Now I'm gonna do it to these legs here. It's the same thing, so I'm just gonna like time lapse this. Alrighty, now that I have the highlights done, that's pretty much all I do for the player. Although, oh yeah, okay, this is fun. Now, what we get to do is select the player, and we get to go and just with your lasso select all of the what are they? Also, you don't have to do this all in one line. Once you select one area, just as long as you have this option up here with the 2 filled circles, you'll be able to select other areas. Like, I could select, hello? I could select this, and it won't get rid of this, okay? I'm gonna hit Control Z, undos, yeah. Control D is how you deselect. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, okay, also, if you end up like doing this and you're like about to click and oh, you messed up, just hit backspace and it'll undo it. So like I can do all this, I can do back, and it'll undo what you just selected. Also, if you're sitting there wondering, why can't I just use the magic wand? You probably can, and I just didn't think about that, and now I'm already done, so, yeah. Anyways, now that you have the selected areas where your highlights are going to be, you're going to right-click, and you're going to go layer via copy. First off, why are they so bright? What the? Oh, I know why. I would do a color overlay of it, just to be in white. Turn the opacity up quite a bit, because that just like sharpens it a lot. And that's pretty much it. Also, I would move this layer to be above, like right there, so that these ones on the side don't get cut out. And that's pretty much it. Although what I do notice is that just the player himself looks really dark. I'm just gonna make him brighter. And you'll notice here that it's not being brighter. So that's why when you make it brighter, just know what number it is. So it's 56 here, okay? And then it'll be this layer, which is I did for the inner layer. Just gonna right click, or image adjustments, brightness and contrast, and you're just gonna make the brightness 56 as well. And then that should even it out. The shadows though are also pretty dark. So you're gonna make it slightly brighter, but not too brighter. I actually might make it the same, just to keep everything even. And there's this player. I think he looks pretty good, but I'm pretty biased as I made the thumbnail. This guy, he has like just a pure white below him, so I'm gonna make a new layer to go below him. That is good enough. Whatever I just did, do that, please. I'm not figuring that out again. Alright, fun time. Now we are on this guy. I'm just gonna move to the top. Image adjustments, right? You're gonna make him a lot brighter because he's like kind of the main focus. Yeah, turn his brightness up 50%, I guess. Image adjustments. Hue and saturation. Turn his saturation up, but not too much where it looks weird. I like that. Why do you see? Typically, they're a lot lower like that. Okay. Now, I did the light angle wrong, so it will look a little weird, but he's going to be like this. That's his arm, and I'm going to make this shoulder here a lot darker, because the shoulder, there was no light that is supposed to be on that. Alrighty, there we go. There's the shadow parts, except for this one. Layer via copy. Yeah, so you're gonna layer via. Oh, I'm not on a layer. Okay, yeah, so you're gonna layer via copy the shadows, and you're gonna go blending options, color overlay. And it's gonna be soft light. It's gonna be like a dark purple, and it is going to be like pretty high opacity. Like I'd say 95. Yeah. This shadow is still dark. I don't know why. Why, shadow? Why does this shadow have to be dark? We'll be selecting this. It'll be fine. So, there's the player. Now, what I like to do with this guy specifically, because I just think it looks better, is on the main skin. You select just where there will be a second layer. So I select just where the second layer is. There's the second. So there's the head layer. I'm just gonna really quickly layer via copy. I'm gonna save this, but this is just because my PC told me to, I guess. I don't know. Now, underneath this layer, you're gonna make a new layer. Whoa, and you're gonna make a new layer, and it's gonna go underneath, and you're gonna get your paintbrush. You're gonna make the size a lot smaller, like, well, hardness 0, and make the opacity like 20. And now you're gonna get the black, and you're just gonna like you see what I'm doing? I'm kind of like separating the main layer from the second. so it like separates it, you know. But while doing that, what it does is it adds a shadow that's just like random. So now you're gonna just while still on where you added just the paint, where you just like brushed. I'm just gonna select the player like perfectly. Yep, it's gotta be perfect, I know. And then just select around it. You see what I'm doing? So now it's selecting where there's no player. We can click backspace. So now it gets rid of the shadows that aren't supposed to be there. And you can see how like it separates the second layer and the main layer. That's just something I like doing with his skin. So now I'm just gonna do the highlights. So I'm gonna start by giving him the inner glow. It's pretty much the same process, just on him. He's just in a different pose. It's gonna be like a bluer inner glow. Still gonna be a bluer inner glow, but it's not been much obvious. But so I'm like, oh, I like 100 opacity. But that's probably just me. And this inner glow's pretty fine, just leaving it as is. Just on the second layer with just the hair, you're gonna have to just do another inner glow. It should be the same setting. Actually, you might want to make the size a little bit smaller, but yeah. And then this will be like the only part you're gonna have to like remove the inner glow. It's just on the second layer hair. So. And then you're just gonna layer via copy it again and turn off the effects, and then do the same thing but with the eraser. Well, I don't know why I have such a large eraser, but I guess it'd be decently sized. And yeah, you might wanna okay, now he has like the inner glow, so I'm gonna do highlights on him, which is the exact same thing I did with the other guy. Like, you're gonna make a new layer and you're just gonna do the highlights the exact same way. So I'm gonna stop talking. This will be time lapsed. And yeah, that's pretty much the entire thumbnail. That was a fun experience, I guess. So if you somehow want to learn how I make thumbnails, I guess this is how. And hopefully you enjoyed, maybe you learned something. Typically what happens when I teach someone how to make thumbnails, they all of a sudden just become really good and 10 times better than me. So if that does happen to you, don't forget about me, bro. I'm always looking for thumbnails. So if you make good thumbnails in the future and like I want to hit me up, be like, hey, I taught you. So, all right, bye.